341-8255, the New Orleans Talk Network. Listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255, the New Orleans Talk Network. Listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255, the New Orleans Talk Network.
This is Congressman Cedric Richmond, and you're watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
Our listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255, the New Orleans Talk Network.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Joe Lapinto, and you are watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
This is Bishop Samuel Blakes, and you're listening to Real Talk with Mary J.
This is Congressman Cedric Richmond, and you're watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
I am your host, Mary J. Thank you to all of my listening audience that are sharing with us all around the globe. I hope you're having a happy, merry Monday today. I am having a happy, merry Monday today. I am in the studio today live on the set, NOTN, and I hope you would join in with me for this conversation on today. We're talking about today, guess what, guys? Fighting temptations. Yes, we're fighting temptations on this morning. I know it's a struggle. But the struggle is definitely real. It is real. Listen, fall is the month that is designed for you to fall. Yes, it is. In the fall seasons, you know, you go through those dry seasons, those very lonely seasons, those quiet seasons in the fall. Think about it. The leaves begin to turn brown, and the leaves begin to fall, the grass begin to wither away. So all of the things that go on in the spiritual in the fall seasons is going on with you in your spirit, and you can't even see it. It's happening right now. So I don't want you to fall back this season. No. I don't want you to fall back. I want you to spring forward. Yes, you got to be able to offset the attacks and spring forward. How do you do that? You got to fight those temptations. Yes, you do. You got to fight those temptations, all of those temptations that is coming to attack you, that is coming to stagnate you, that is coming to strangle you in this very season. You know why? It's designed to get you to fall back. So in the springtime, you'll have all of that depression. You'll have all of that loneliness. You'll have all of that, all of those setbacks that we walk through the winter seasons with is because we fell back in the fall. Yeah, pay attention to the signs, the cycles, and the seasons. It's because you fell back in the fall. So we're going to talk about fighting temptations on this morning. So I want you right where you are in Radio Land. Those of you that are listening by us, go into the radio station now, dial into New Orleans Talk Network. I want you to go download that NOTN app and share with us on this morning. Tell somebody we're getting ready to have a happy, merry Monday, and we're going to fight these temptations. And all of you that are visiting me, social media land, thank you all this morning for tuning in to Real Talk with Mary J. I want you to go right now and share. Yes, tag someone in on the show today that you know they have the struggle, and the struggle is real. It is definitely real. So when we talk about fighting temptations, guys, we talk about what is it that you struggle with. If you think about the very thing that you struggle with, the thing that sets you back, the thing that takes you off track, I guarantee you, if you do an assessment this morning, I'm trying to help you. If you do an assessment this morning, you'll realize that you are in that same season, that same cycle. You are right where you were last year. Yeah. And I tell you one thing, if you're not there where you were last year, it's getting ready to head your way, because guess what? I said it before, you have an appetite. And you have to know what your appetite is. And whatever your appetite is, I promise you that's where your struggle is. So I always use me, you know, guys. I'm very transparent. I like to use me as an example. So if I struggle with sweets, because I'm a big foodie, I love to eat. Everybody knows that I love to eat. So because I love to eat sweets, bread pudding, cheesecake, key lime pie, all of those wonderful treats that we shouldn't have, ladies, because we know it goes right here in the midriff. We feel it. We carry it right over here in the hips. That's a struggle. That's a struggle. It's a very simple struggle. We don't pay attention to those challenges. We deal with those, and they taste good. They taste good. So whatever your struggle is, guess what? It's going to taste good to you. Why it's going to taste good to you? Because it's a weakness. And if it wasn't a weakness, it wouldn't be a struggle. So you have to know what your appetite is, okay? So I just wanted to set the precedence, get that out in the forefront so you'll know that's what we're talking about. So whatever your struggle is, whatever tastes good to you, whatever looks good to you, whatever feels good to you, that's your struggle. And that's the very thing that you would have to fight. So I use sweets because I'm trying to be sweet on this morning, because it's early in the morning and we don't want to go too deep on today, but we'll be real deep on tonight. We're going to talk woman to woman on tonight. For all of our ladies, tune in with me tonight for 10 p.m. show, and we're going to talk about it. So let's talk about fighting temptation. I said you might be fighting it right now at this very moment. If this is your season, if this is your time, if this is your cycle, it comes right back around. Why? Because there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. So whatever you were dealing with last year, you're probably dealing with it this year. If you were lonely last year in this season, you're probably lonely this year. You know, whatever it is that caused you to be set back, you're fighting that very thing right now. I guarantee you, if you're not fighting it right now, guess what? Put your dukes up, because it's on the way. It's on the way. It's going to meet you. You're going to meet your match, because the very thing that you tried to resist, I said it before, for all of our Bible readers, you know that Real Talk with Mary J is a social outlet for a positive outcome, and we deal with everything holistically, from social to spiritual. So for all of our Bible readers, you know, Paul said in the Word of God that every time I go to do good, evil is always present. It's always present. The thing that I want to do, that I know I should do, I try my best to do it, but my flesh say, no, you don't want to do that. But the very thing that I try to break away from and get away from, you know what my flesh says? Paul says, it said, ooh, Paul, yeah, you can do that. Yes, you can have that. Isn't that just like the flesh that we struggle with? It's a mess. We have to continue to work it through, to work out our flesh, to put our flesh under subjection, because it's a flesh fight. It's a battle. That's why we have to crucify the flesh. Not every now and then, not every season, not every holiday, not occasionally, but daily. Daily, we have to wake up and tell that flesh, die. Die. We have to crucify. So now, when we're talking about fighting temptation and dealing with that very thing that has come to set us off course, to get us to fall back, to get us off the direction and off the path that we know we're supposed to be headed to. Why is that? It's because of everything that's in you that craves that wants that it allures and it attracts whatever that thing is. That's the thing that you have to overcome. That's the thing that you have to beat. That's the very thing that you're going to have to fight. So I'm on today, Real Talk with Mary J. Those of you that are tuning in with us by Radio Land, we welcome your comments on this morning. We welcome you. Come on. Yeah, let's talk about it together. We're going to win this war together. Yes, we will. And those of you that are sharing with us by Facebook, social media, YouTube, all over, wherever you are, Instagram, wherever you are, tune in with us in this broadcast today. It's going to be real, up close and personal, fighting temptations on today. We're going into our commercial break, but we don't want you to go anywhere because it's going to get really deep when we come back, okay? Go like, go share, invite someone to join us. The fight is on. It's a real fight. But guess what? In the end, I promise you, you're going to win. We'll be right back after this.
Listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255. The New Orleans Talk Network.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson. And can you believe that it has been 1 year since Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions hit your airwaves? We have interviewed authors, entrepreneurs, playwrights, musicians, and everyone in between, all to bring you the best in literary conversation. And we plan to do it again this year, but only better. So join us right here in the Literary Lounge each Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the New Orleans Talk Network. See you there.
We're back. Talk What You Know returns on Wednesday mornings at 8 a.m. We got a brand new co-host by the name of Bob B. And hey, that's me. Also, we got some new features. We're going to be giving away, have a weekly raffle of prizes. There are multiple ways for you to win, and there's a bevy of prizes. So we need you to come on back, join us on Wednesday mornings at 8 o'clock for Talk What You Know on the New Orleans Talk Network.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
Watching us by Facebook. Hello, everybody out there in Facebook land, social media land, and all around the world. Also and Radioland. We're talking about fighting temptations on this morning. The struggle is real, you guys. Yes, it is. It's absolutely real. And we go through these struggles, as I said before. We're going to deal with it because the fall season is come to set you up. So let's get in there really quickly and sabotage the plans of the strategies that the enemy will send our way. And we know that devil, he is busy. So let's offset the attacks. Can we do that today? Listen, the fight that you're in, it's the very thing that you taste. It's the very thing that you desire. It's the very thing that you try to shake. And as much as you try to shake it, it intensifies. It becomes more and more real to you. It's because you're closer to your breakthrough than you think you are. Oh, yes, you are. If the struggle was not such a fight, if it was not so intense, you know, there's something about you that you don't know about yourself. And that's because you're almost at your breakthrough. You're almost right there. So let's offset those attacks. Instead of falling back, let's spring forward. Yes, let's spring forward in this season. We're not going to wither away. We're not going to go into depression. We're not going to go into oppression. We're not going to be lonely and desperate in this season. We're going to overcome. We're going to ambush the very thing that is trying to attack us. So listen, fighting those temptations. I said it before. Every time you think about doing the thing that you know is the right thing to do, what happens? It can be something as simple as I said before. I love sweets. I love to eat sweets because I love to bake. I love to cook. So when I'm cooking and I'm baking, especially during these holiday seasons, you know, the pounds are going to come on. My house smells very, very good during the winter time because something is always cooking and baking. You know, something is always brewing and stewing in my household. The same thing happens with us in the natural. There's something cooking, there's something baking, there's something brewing and stewing in the natural, and you have to be able to identify it and understand it because you know what? It really is spiritual. There's a war going on. There's a battle going on. So think about the very place where you were this time last year. Give yourself some time to just think about whatever that situation was, whatever you were in at this time. Think about it. Think about those persons that were around you. Think about how you dealt with certain circumstances. Think about the financial state that you were in. Where were you last time this year? Are you in a much better place than you were before? Or do you kind of feel that same cycle creeping up on you, easing its way on you, getting closer to you? If you feel that, that is something that's called a familiar spirit. So you have to be able to recognize it. You have to be able to identify it. And how do you identify it? You do yourself a checklist. Give yourself a checklist and be ready to check off those things. Like, you know what? I felt this before. You have to be able to process and eliminate, to know who you are, to know what's in you and the things that you think about, the things that you go through, because we have to begin to change our mindset. Focus on some other things. If you feel that you're going to be in a lonely place, if you lost loved ones because the season is about to set in, we're going to ambush that right away. So what we're going to do, we're going to center ourselves around those persons and our loved ones that bring us joy. We're going to center ourselves around family members, and we're going to stay busy doing things during this season. I know you're saying, Mary J, already, you know, Thanksgiving is not here yet. Christmas is not here yet. That is just the way you offset the attacks. I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day, and I was just sharing that during the holiday seasons, during the winter months, because I cook a lot and eat a lot, I like to watch movies. I like to spend time with my family. So I spend more time during this season in another room in my house. I stay a lot more involved and engaged with my children and with family during this season. I don't spend a lot of time outside of the house, and I don't spend a lot of times like in my office or in the bedroom, because that's where most of us get set up at. When you spend those lonely times by yourself, talking and reminiscing and going through all of that stuff is what's come to set you up. So you have to know your season, your time, and your cycle. So you have to be ready to offset those attacks. How do you offset those attacks? Because this is what's going on right now, particularly for our ladies. We go through this broken season. We deal with all of our brokenness. Oh my gosh, it's painful. I know it is. It's painful. But pay attention to where you are. When we go through having one relationship to going into the next relationship to getting involved in the next relationship, you don't really realize it. You don't really see it happening. But you've left this person because your heart was broken. You were wounded. Sometimes we hold on to bitterness. Sometimes we hold on to resentment. Sometimes we hold on to unforgiveness, and all of this stuff that has attached itself to us. You don't see it. You really don't see it. And then you just go about your way because you're saying, you know what, I let that go and I'm moving on. But all of this stuff has attached itself to you, and you're dragging it along with you, and you're moving on to the next season. So now, here comes Mr. Fine in this season. You are a little reserved. You're a little set back, because you already know what you've been through. But guess what? The time is there because you have a lot of time on your hand. So now you have come to entertain Mr. Fine, Mr. Right now, thinking that he's Mr. Right because he came packaged well. He came packaged in your appetite. He came well suited. Yes, he came in the church. Maybe he was in the pulpit. I'm just saying. Okay, I shouldn't, but I'm just saying. Got to be real with you, because a lot of times we get caught up because I already said before, what's your appetite? If that thing tastes good to you, if it looks good, if it smells good, that's probably it. That's probably it. So you have to understand where you are, ladies, particularly our ladies. I know it's not Matters of the Heart right now at 10 a.m. Yes, but it would be on tonight at 10 p.m. But listen, when we get to this place, and of course he's catering, of course the conversation is good, of course he's being sensitive and kind. He's meeting you where you are. But here's the thing. He may be Mr. Wonderful, but he to you is the Mr. Right now. Because if you just came out of this relationship last season, and now you're in this relationship, and here he comes, okay, you're still a little bitter, you're still a little scorned, you might have a little bit of unforgiveness. I know. We think that we've gotten over it, but we're not always over it. But now we're opening ourselves up to converse and be set right back in that same situation. Now that we're conversing and everything is to our liking because it tastes good, it smells good, it feels good, it's everything that we want, and we're right back where we started from. So what happens is that we engage this. We engage, we entertain this, whatever it is, whether it's a relationship or whether it's some kind of weakness that you just have to war off, but we engage it at some point because it's gotten our attention, right? It's gotten our attention. So now what happens now? Now you're going about the same way. You're moving the same way. If you pay attention to the way you moved last season, you'll see yourself moving again in this season. What happened? You've been blindsided. You've been caught off guard, and now you think that you're in something. I said it before, we get out of something just to get back into the next, just to get back under the next. That's a temptation, and you're not even aware of it. I see so many ladies that will go through, they would talk about one relationship and they come out of their brokenness and then they'd be right back into another relationship. And then the next time you see them, they're married, they're engaged, they're And when we watch it for a while, we see what happens is that they've repeated the same cycle. They've repeated the same cycle. A lot of times what we do, and ladies, listen to me. Hear my heart in this. We've been taught since we were little girls. We've been taught to wait for our rescuer, our savior. If you can think of every single fairy tale there is, and I'm getting ahead of myself because this is about my woman-to-woman talk tonight. But if you can think of every single fairy tale, Cinderella, she waited on her prince. You know, every fairy tale that you know, Rapunzel, she waited on her prince. Every single story that you know, it was about some woman being in some type of scenario where she was not at her best, where she was broken or lonely or poverty stricken, and then her hero came and took her away from all of that. It has been so engraved in our psychic, and that's how we live our lives. And now we're living the same lives as men and women, and we're walking around and we're doing our own thing. We got it going on this hand, but over here on this other hand, when the right appetite comes along and we taste it and we see it and it feels good, it looks good, and it tastes good, we're right back into that same old struggle. How do we come out of it? We're going to talk about how to fight these temptations, how to break through, how to come out, how to rise up, how to be all that we can be, to be whole, to be happy, to be secure, to be made completely whole and strong before we go right back into another situation. We're going to go into commercial break in just a little while, but guess what? We don't want you to go anywhere. We want you to sit back, relax, hold on to your seat. It's going to get a little bumpy. Yes, this is Real Talk. It's going to get a little bumpy at 10 a.m. this morning. It's 10 a.m. early morning. Yeah, you tuned in to Real Talk with Mary J on NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. I am your host, Mary J, but we'll be right back after this. We're going to learn how to fight these temptations and how to break through. We'll be right back after this.
And I want to encourage you to join Church Without Walls every Monday morning from 11 a.m. to 12 noon.
And we want to encourage you to promote God's plan and not man's plan. Don't you dare miss it.
Hello, this is Dr. Glenda E. Williams.
This is Charles Stewart. Dr. Anthony Williams.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on the Gulf Coast that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
Oh, how the time flies. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson. And can you believe that it has been 1 year since Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions hit your airwaves? We have interviewed authors, entrepreneurs, playwrights, musicians, and everyone in between, all to bring you the best in literary conversation. And we plan to do it again this year, but only better. So join us right here in the Literary Lounge each Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the New Orleans Talk Network. See you there.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
Nobody gives you better conversation.
Hi guys, we're back from our commercial break. You tuned in to Real Talk with Mary J. I hope you were listening loud and clear earlier. We just talked about fighting temptation. That's our subject on today because the struggle is real. Put up your dukes. Come on, it's time to fight. It's not time to fall down. It's time to rise up and stand strong. Listen, I want to give a shout out to all of my listening audience that are sharing with us all around the world. I hope you're having a happy Merry Monday today. Hi, Aisha. I see you watching. James, I see you watching. Daytron, I see you guys watching this morning. So I just wanted to shout out to you as we come back from our commercial break. But listen, we're talking about fighting temptations. Know where you are. Know what the struggle is about. It's come to set you off course. It's come to take you out. It's come to distract you. It's come to pull you away from the very thing that you're supposed to be going to. The thing that is in you, what God has put in you, what He's created and purposed you to be. That's why the struggle is designed to take you off course. But listen, I was saying before, it's simple. Well, I'm not going to say it's simple. It's a struggle. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. But the strategy is simple. The strategy is simple. When you think about where you were last year and what was going on in your life last year that you've came out of, that you've overcame, that you were able to get a little stronger, okay? You were able to get a little stronger and you were able to press through. But now that you're in this season this year, isn't it familiar? Doesn't it look a little bit like last year or the year before? There's nothing new under the sun. So the same strategies that the enemy used before, he's going to use them again. It's the same thing. So how were you able to overcome? Guess what? A lot of times we get distracted and we think we've come out of something because we got into something else. So what we do, we find another situation to preoccupy our time, to preoccupy our mind, and to keep us set. So as long as we have something to preoccupy our time and our mind and keep us set, we think that we're doing okay. But what happens when whatever it is that we were holding on to is no longer there? Or if we're holding on to a man, in most cases, ladies, or a woman, men, if that person is no longer there, we're right back feeling those same feelings. You know, we go back down memory lane. We begin to reminisce and play that same song in our head. Killing me softly with his song. You understand what I'm saying? We start playing those songs in our head and it takes us right back. And this is the season. I'm trying to get you help. I'm trying to let you know this is the season that we stand in that struggle. And so what happens is that we preoccupy our mind with all of this other stuff. And we use that as our coping mechanism to bring forth healing, but we're not healed. We're still broken. And then Mr. Right comes along, but he's Mr. Right now. And we give him our time and we start talking about all of the stuff that we've been through, all of the things that hurt us and where we were and how we were, even though we're a little better now because we worked on us, right? We worked on us, so we got the outside just right. But down on the inside, there's still some stuff going on. And now Mr. Charmer has come to bring you back into this same old game. We have to be able to do better. Why are we having this conversation this morning? It's too early in the morning for this, right? We're having this conversation right now because it's real right now. And I see so many ladies, when I watch them and I watch their movement and I hear their conversations and I watch their relationships, and then they're going through the relationship and they think that they're okay, and now they're back into this situation where they've even come to realize that temptation has caught them off guard and they've given in. Yeah, they've given in to the temptation. They've given in to the temptation. They tried. And now they think that this is Mr. Right, so they've given in to the temptation, only to find out later, speed forward, fall has passed, you're in your winter season now, and now there's a whole nother monster you have to fight, because now this monster has attached itself to you, this monster of lust, this monster of low self-esteem, this monster of depression, has attached itself to you, and now you have a bigger fight, you have a bigger battle, you have a bigger temptation to war off. How are you going to get this monster off your back now? Because guess what? It started out in the beginning with the very little thing. See, you guys laugh at me when I talk about the sweets that I eat, and I love it, but that's a little thing. Every one of us have a thing. Sweets not my only thing. Come on, somebody. You know what I'm talking about. Sweets may not be my only thing, but it is something. So it starts off as small as that, and it begins to grow. And how do we fight it? We have to bring ourselves into another space. You have to detach yourself from all of those things that you feel that is pulling you down, that's like leeches on you. Sometimes you have to detach yourself from some friends, so-called takers. You have to detach yourself from those persons, because you'll find yourself that they weren't there when you needed them. They weren't there in your lonely season, but now when your spring season come around, they're going to be looking for you, boo, because it's vacation time and it's money time, and it's beach time, and you have it going on. So they're going to look for you then. But what about during your season of struggle? What about during your season of trying and testing time? What about the season of lack? What about the time when you needed them the most and they were not there? So you have to find yourself letting go of some of those persons, some of those people that have caused themselves to be attached to you. Yeah, you have to let them go. You have to do it right now. Don't wait till the springtime comes to do inventory, to do your spring cleaning. This is the fall season. This is the season of struggle. This is the time that you're going to know. Get rid of it right now. Let it go. Anything that is holding you back, anything that is stopping you or blocking you from being the total you, let it go. If you can't be yourself around some people that don't appreciate who you are, being yourself, your whole self, let it go. If you have to fake it around certain people in certain situations and you can't be all who you are, let it go. Because they won't be the ones that's going to be able to help you sustain your time of struggle. They're going to be the ones that's going to talk about you. They're going to be the ones that's going to criticize you. They're going to be the ones right there dragging you down and pulling you down. So you have to get to a place where you understand now, whether I have the validation, whether I have the affirmation, whether they're here with me or not, I know that I got to do this thing. A lot of times we don't go through the season where we date ourselves and be by ourselves. We're always in the eye of someone else, but sometimes you got to hide yourself. I'm going to tell you this because God told me this many years ago. I took heed to it many years ago when he told it to me, and then it full circle right back in another season. That's why I'm telling you what I know. He said, hide yourself that I might show yourself. Hello, come on. Hide yourself that he might show yourself. He will show who you are at the right time. Some of us are tucked away for the right time. For the right time. Yeah, you got to be tucked away for the right time. If you're not, you're going to deal with that struggle. Sometimes you got to go and get yourself together. Yes, sometimes you got to go and you got to put your war clothes on. You have to learn how to get into your quiet place. You have to get around people that love you, really, really love you, and you get with them. And you spend time with family and friends and you get with them. That quiet time comes, you have to learn how to take a spiritual bath. Yes, you have to get into the bubble bath and play your worship songs, your music, and get into a spiritual bath and soak. And when you're soaking, you start thinking about the goodness of the Lord and all of the things he's done and all of those ways he's made and what he brought you out of and how he delivered you and how you've came through. You have to hold on to that to be strengthened in that, because guess what? The struggle is waiting on you. It's waiting on you. It's waiting on you. Sometimes you might have to turn off certain things and turn your phone off from certain people. You might have to delete some people out of your phone, because this is the season that you're going through that's getting ready to take you to your next level, and you have to be able to identify it. Are you going to fight those temptations? You better put your war clothes on, because it's getting ready to come and kick down your door if you're not prepared for it. I'm telling you, that's how you ambush the enemy. You know, you always fight. A great fighter always studies their opponent. A great fighter always recognizes the strategies of their opponent. You study your opponent. You watch their moves. You watch how they swing. You watch how they talk. You watch their movement. Watch the way they come into the room. Yes, yes. See them with their game face on. That's what you have to do. You have to know that you're fighting the opponent, and you have to be able to understand and recognize what his strengths are and what his weaknesses are. And guess what? They're in you too. They're in you too. So if you can identify the battles that you've come out of, you recognize those challenges, you see where you were then, now you have to offset the attacker. How do you offset the attacker? You know, when you're training and you're fighting, I like boxing, y'all. That's one of my favorite sports. I love to see boxing. Wrestling, I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of wrestling. Too much movement, body slamming, everybody holding on each other. No, I want jabs. I want to see what you're working with. I want to be able to move when you're coming. You know, I want to be able to watch you from afar and identify you from afar off. All that wrestling stuff. I'm sorry, wrestling fans. That might be your thing. That might be your thing. I'm a real fighter. I like to box. I like to see him in the ring boxing. So what happens? You study your opponent. You see his footwork. You watch his moves. You know where he's coming. You know where the jabs, how he's going to come. If he's going to come round hook or uppercut, you know it. Don't you know it? So as you study your opponent, you begin to build yourself up. What are we doing right now in this season? This is the training season. This is the season that we get ready, that we get prepared to undergird what's getting ready to come our way, and we have to get ready for it. A fighter always prepares to fight. A fighter always prepares to fight. Out of season, a fighter is getting trained. They're getting fit. They're getting in shape. They're getting ready, because they know that the time is going to come when they're going to get in the ring and they're going to have to fight. And that's all that we're talking about on today. This is Real Talk with Mary J. I hope you hear me. I hope you're listening loud and clear. I hope it's soaking in, and I hope you're getting something out of this. You don't wait. You don't wait until the springtime comes. You don't wait till Christmas come. You don't wait to get your game face on when the fight is right there. You got to prepare yourself to win this thing, to beat this thing, because guess what? Your opponent is watching your every move. Your opponent is watching your strategies. He's watching you. He knows what your weakness is. He knows what your temptations are. He knows when to come, how to come, and what looks good. And I told you before, if you look at it and it looked good to you, you taste that thing, yeah, that's it. That's it right there. That's the very thing that's come to take you out. We'll be right back after this commercial break. You're in it to win it. You're in it to win it. It's a fixed fight. You're going to win it. We're talking about fighting temptations on today. You tuned in with your girl, Real Talk Mary J. We're going to keep it real on this morning, okay? I want you to go prepare. Get ready for the struggle, because the struggle is real. But guess what? You're going to come out a champion. We'll be right back after this.
Here at Jones Insurance, your full-service agency, let us take care of all your insurance needs. We provide homeowners insurance, flood, rental, commercial, auto, and life insurance. Don't let the unexpected tragedy destroy your family's future. Here at Jones Insurance, 7603 West Bank Expressway, Monroe, Louisiana 772. Contact Lois at 504-348-1492.
Hi, I'm Prophetess Charlene Duforce.
And I'm Bishop Carol Duforce Sr.
And we're from Living Witnesses Ministries.
And we also have a program on the internet called Living by the Word Daily. And we're seen every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon Central Time on the New Orleans Talk Network.
And we would like to invite you to tune in with us every Wednesday morning. Again, 11 to 12 noon Central Daylight Time. Please join us as we teach the Word of God. Thank you, and God bless.
God bless you.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Commercial break. I hope you're having a happy Merry Monday all day long. I am your girl, Real Talk Mary J, all the way from NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Yes, we're talking about fighting temptations. We're fighting temptations every day. Yes, every day. You have to crucify that flesh. You have to bring that thing under subjection. It's a war going on. And if you don't recognize the strategies, if you don't recognize that you're in a fight every day, that's why you have to rise up early and seek your moment of meditation. Spend that time, put that time in, and before you go to bed, you know, whatever it is that you're dealing with, especially when you go to bed late at night, whatever is the last thing on your mind at nighttime is the thing that would drop into your psyche during the night. And guess what? Unconsciously, without you even recognizing it, without you even being able to identify it, that thing would ingrain itself into your mind, and you'll be walking around wondering why you're feeling the way you're feeling. What is it that you're feeding your spirit? What is it that your spirit man's been eating? What have you been talking? What have your conversations been about? Where are you mentally? Where are you emotionally? What season are you in right now? You're going to fight this thing. It's going to be on you. So you have to know what the struggle is so you can win it and you can conquer it. You'll be able to defeat it. So listen, we're talking about fighting temptations on today because guess what? The battle is coming against you. Yes, it is. I don't want you to wait until Christmas time come. What will the lonely do? Yeah, at Christmas, you know, we wait till we get all the way there, and then we try to fix it. No, you have to be able to offset the attacks. And how do you offset the attacks? You're able to train out of season, prepare yourself. So when the attacks do come, you're strong enough to handle it. You're built for this. You can bounce back. You're able to identify it. You were able to be able to recognize it from afar off. And you understand where you are. So listen, what you're dealing with, whether it's sexual, whether it's financial, whether it's physical, whatever the situation is, whatever it is for you, you know what your struggle is. If it's a financial struggle, you already know. What were you doing last season at this time financially? Where were your monies going then? What were you investing in? How were you spending your monies? It's the same thing. If you go through your checkbook, through your bank account, you'll see all of where your money's been going, and the same thing that you did last season, that's probably where you are this season if you look at it. Just go back in your checkbook and look at it. It'll be the same. Yeah, that's why you're having this fight. It's not because you haven't been making the money. It's because you have not been managing it. It's the same thing. It's a temptation. Sometimes we don't see it as such because you know why? We think temptations are just sexual and sensual. No, they come in all forms. They come in all forms. So if you go back and watch it on YouTube, Fighting Temptations, we talked about it even then. I brought it to the morning show because I wanted to get your attention early. I wanted to get your attention early so you'll be able to deal with it. So whatever the situation is that you're going through, whatever it is that you're dealing with, let's talk about the physicality, because sometimes that's a real fight for us. That's a real struggle for us. Our weight sometimes is a real struggle to keep it off. Whew, yeah, we have to fight our flesh to do that. You have to be able to wake up in the morning, get your exercise in, drink your water, flush your body out. Detox your body. It's easy if you just stay away from meat and sweets for a while. That'll get it all out of you. Wash your body out with water, flush your system out, and do some workout. You know, stretches, launches, power walking, whatever it is. Waist pincher for us ladies that like to train those waists. Let's do it, you know, all of that. But when you work on the outside and you take care of all of that on the outside that you know is a fight for you, it's a battle for you, you can do it. Like I said before, all you have to do is go back and see what you were doing before, reverse it, change it. Change it. You got to do something differently. And then when you get to that point where you want to be, you maintain it. Now, the only way it comes back is if you fall back. That's how it comes back. I know when I've fallen back because I know I'm not walking. I know that I'm not working out as much. I know that I am eating all the time. And that's what I do. I love to eat. And many times, if I'm not careful, it'll be all back on me. But this is what you do when you make up in your mind that you're going to walk, that you're going to work it off. You have to stick to that regimen. So you have to, in other words, what I'm trying to say, it's all about discipline. You have to discipline yourself in anything that you do. You have to do it in moderation, and you have to be able to discipline yourself. So real quickly, let's do a checklist right quickly so we can fight these temptations, so we can offset the attacker. Listen, I say train out of season. Train out of season. Know the strategies of your attacker. Know how your opponent moves. Know where they're coming from, what season they're coming in. You know you. Nobody knows you better than you, so you already know what you're dealing with. You can fake it on the outside, but on the inside, it's going to speak to you. It's going to talk to you. You can fix the outside up and get it all well polished and put together and line those lips, girls. Come on, men. You can pump as much iron as you want to pump. You know you. You know what's going on. You know where you are. So let's work on that. Strategize. Understand. First, know who you are. Know your opponent. Know what your weaknesses are. Know what you are attracted to. Know what things will come to tempt you. Whatever your appetite is, that's the very thing. Whatever it is, that's where it is. And so once you find out what those things are, you're able to recognize it and identify it, and then you have to saturate your mind in worship. You have to saturate your mind in the word. You have to take time out to pray. Take a spiritual bath and just worship and just sit there and soak and meditate. Yes, that'll get you on track. I'm telling you, it would definitely get you to the place where you need to be. And then you have to position yourself as it relates to who you're going to let in your life, how much time and attention you're going to give to that individual, and where you're going to keep them. Sometimes I make it a point that at certain times I just don't even go into conversations with friends. I don't even get on the phone and talk about certain things at certain times because I already know that it's going to take me down. It's going to weigh me heavy. Sometimes you just got to be anointed when not to answer the phone. You got to know when not to answer. Don't you take that call. It's too late tonight for that. Okay? I'm trying to help you fight those temptations. I know in the end you're going to win. You're going to come out as a champion. That's who you are. You're strong. You can do it. You tuned into Real Talk with Mary J on NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. I am your host, Mary J. Stay tuned for 10 p.m. tonight. Ladies, we're talking woman to woman. Yes, we're going to talk about it on tonight. Woman to woman. Stay tuned for 10 p.m. Central Standard Time tonight. Men, you're welcome to join in with us, but we're all going to fight these temptations